channel. It is 2025. We're midway through the month of January, and by the grace of God, we're all here. And I'm looking at this year to be, for many of you, an opportunity to grow in every area of your life, every area, overcoming obstacles and seeing yourself in a place that you never thought was possible. And today I'm going to share some things on a subject that I think have hindered many of us, including myself, over the years. And I want to kind of nip that in the bud as we start on our journey. Many of you have made vows, commitments about things you want to do and things you want to accomplish on this year. But I want to talk about why we have hurt our own selves in terms of not achieving certain things in our life, certain goals and certain places we want to be. And the biggest thing that has hindered us for the most part is having fear. Fear has crept in like a thief and has stolen time from us, and it has hindered us in so many ways. And when you think about the word fear, I want to just talk to you about just a basic definition of fear. You're talking about an emotional response. Fear is an emotion, and it causes you to act a certain kind of way. And part of fear can be a good thing. It triggers the body to kind of go into fight or flight mode. So in some ways, fear is good. It can keep you safe. But when fear is something that is a constant thing going on in your life, it can keep you stuck. It can keep you stuck. And I want to talk specifically about some things fear can do to a person. When you think about fear, I want you to think about the consequences of it and what it can really do to you in terms of hindering certain things. So the first thing I want to talk to you about fear and what it does and how it hinders us is it tend to cause us to become impaired in our decision making. We become very impulsive, or we'll begin to go because of the fear that is driving us. We'll go in a direction we shouldn't go into and keep us from where we need to be going. Or fear will stop us when we should be going. See, in this year, this is the year that we want to strive and we want to thrive. But if we allow fear to continue to run our lives and we don't address and check our fears, then it's going to impair our judgment. It's going to impair our decisions. And fear keep us from making necessary risks. And just that word there, necessary risks, knowing that some risks are necessary if you're going to go to the next level in your life. Some fears are absolutely necessary to have, to risk, and to go for certain things in your life. And fear will keep you making poor decisions and ultimately cause you to miss out on some good opportunities. So that's what fear can do to you. Another thing fear can do to you, it can cause you to have physical and emotional pain. Emotional strain and pain on your life. Chronic fear can lead to high blood pressure, a fast heart rate. It can cause tension and it can impact your life and your overall health. Fear has got to the place in many people's lives that they're actually taking medication. Some are in the hospital. Some are afraid to just step out and do things, all because of fear. So we gotta understand the consequences of fear if we don't address it. The last thing I want to share about fear And this is not by any means all of them. I'm just highlighting some of the main things about fear. Fear will reduce your confidence in your abilities to achieve goals and objectives. Fear will cause you to have a lack of confidence in your ability to achieve objectives in your life. It will cause you to no longer grow. Okay? And that's important because if a person is not growing, they're dying. And if they're not growing, they're stuck in that one place. And if you're stuck in a place, that's where you're dying, right there. And if you're living your life in that same spot because of fear, that means that's the place you decide to die. You might be physically alive, but when it comes to growth, you're dead. Fear holds us back from trying new things or stepping out of our comfort zones. And it limits our personal development and growth. See, life is about growing and learning and experiencing things. And fear hinders us from doing that. Some of you have been talking about, I'm going to learn a new language, right? Or I'm going to go into this field or that field. But fear has kept you in the same spot you're in. And we need to understand the consequences of fear. Now, there are some ways to overcome fear. Now, generally speaking, you're going to have to face your fears. You need to understand that up front, off top, you're going to have to face your fears. And one way to do that is to kind of face fear gradually. Okay? It's like exposing yourself slowly to things that you've been afraid of can cause that thing to lose its power over you. If you can kind of go to the source of your fear in a small manner, it can cause you to slowly overcome that thing that's hindering your life. It will help you to desensitize that thing that has been so effectively hindering your life. See, when you become desensitized to something, it can no longer affect you. But when fear is having its perfect way in your life, you are very sensitive to it, to where you want to avoid it at all costs. And I'm saying you gotta face your fear slowly but surely, and do it in a way that becomes a routine to slowly face it, so you can slowly desensitize yourself from that thing that's keeping you from achieving what you can achieve in your life. Another way is to change your thought patterns, because when you're in fear, your thought patterns are as such that it advocates and promotes the very thing that you are afraid of. And that's what's hindering us a lot of times. There's this thing called cognitive behavioral techniques. Cognitive behavioral techniques. And you have to kind of replace those negative thoughts with positive ones. And the best way to do that is to stop saying to yourself you can't do something, and start saying to yourself, I can learn how to do it, or I am more than capable of achieving this goal or objective. So when we think about it, we're going to have to begin to deal with ourselves, and it's our mindset and how we think, and it's how we self-talk to ourselves to help us to overcome fear. The last but not least, we've got to learn how to build confidence and resilience within ourselves. Strengthening your self-esteem, okay, through small successes. Every time you have a success, that small success in the area where fear was trying to stop you, that's going to build confidence. And having positive self-talk, it gradually reduces fear. When you see that you can start doing those exercises, maybe 2 today, when at one point you was never doing them. Maybe you do 2 now. Maybe now the next couple days you start doing 4. Or you start getting up a little bit earlier. Or you start, if you got to speak in front of people, because most people are afraid to speak in front of a large audience, you've got to slowly but surely put yourself in a position where you're slowly speaking in front of 2 people, or where you talk with your friends, practicing talking and communicating your point, or communicating in general, so that way you can be heard. It takes that going for it and facing that fear in order for you to become effective. And even when some things just pop up, that fear monster just pop up all of a sudden, you gotta deal with it. Sometimes it can help even to pause and take a deep breath or a quick meditation. And that's how you can slowly overcome your fear. So I want you to understand that it's important that this year in 2025, our goal is to grow and to develop. And the first thing we got to eradicate is fear. And we're going to eradicate fear by facing it. We're going to eradicate fear by changing our negative thought patterns. And we're going to build confidence. So in time, we get rid of the fear so we can begin to move forward and make progress and grow and develop in 2025. So until next time, I want you to grab hold of some things in this message so that way you can become more effective and begin to move forward in 2025.